Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're checking out Tu Zong. Yes, that is how you pronounce that title if you were wondering. It was actually written by the developer Tu Zong. Anyway, this is by David O'Toole. This is a kind of lo-fi action combat procedurally generated roguelike type of thing, and honestly it defies a little bit of traditional genre expectations, so we're going to actually just jump right into it, and I will bring up the help menu and then we can grab a look at the rules. I do quite like this title screen. It's very simple, but it's got a lovely little color spectrum going on it. So we are loaded in. We've got some interesting colors to look at, and here are our instructions. Your character is this robot, and from the top, he just sort of looks like an orange rectangle with some stuff protruding from it, but that's him walking. We're doing a top-down perspective here. So you want to move our robot with the arrow keys, or the arrows on the numeric keyboard. I don't know, only chumps would use that, actually. I'm that kind of chump. I used to use the numeric keyboard all the time. Fire the bouncing ball with spacebar or shift. Hold down the fire button to lock aim. Okay, to pause or unpause the game, press F12. To enable, disable joystick report, report/support, press Control-J. To reset the game after your robot's destroyed, press Control-R. Well, it actually tells us that. F10 to toggle music. Switch tracks. On each level, your sole objective is to reach the exit, which is demarcated by a pink box with a bright green X inside of it. You must break bricks with the ball to pick up their color. Example, that red square, or that yellow square, that orange square. Then, use the ball to unlock matching colored gates to get the colors you need to reach the exit. Alright, well that actually, it sounds complicated here, but it's really not. Once you see it in practice, it actually makes quite a bit of sense. On some levels, the exit is initially closed, which means that it is red instead of pink. Defeat the marked boss enemies to open it. I forgot what the name of that thing is. I'll think of it in a second. That arrow. Chevron, that's right. Watch out for these guys. So we've got a shocker, a monitor, a ghost, a shockwave, and a paddle. Sounds very like retro, old school type of enemies to me. I like that. If you're far away from the exit, you will periodically see a waypoint indicator telling you where the exit is. The rest is for you to discover in-game. Hope you enjoy playing Tu Zong. Okay, so let's start up the game for realsies and assume control of our robot friend. So we've got a very simple conundrum in front of us right now. We've got a yellow square with no shield and a blue square with a yellow shield. So what that means, we need to use that to grab a little bit of yellow. In my life, a little bit of Rita's all I need. I didn't expect to be doing a Lou Bega joke today. Anyway, so now we've got that. Grab some blue, avoid, and proceed. So that is the simple way that we play through in Tu Zong. So we want to check out where our exit is, see what's around it, and start to solving. So the first thing we need here, grab a little bit of that cloudy kind of gray-blue. Oh, you know what? I probably could use a little bit more of this. Before I had read the instructions, because as I always do, I do a little like between 30-second and 5-minute little intro to the game to make sure it records okay and the sounds are all accurate enough. Let's mess around with beating them up a little bit. Look, it bounces around for us. Isn't that nice? But yeah, as I was playing around with it, I found myself a little bit confused as to what to do until I read that F1 help menu. So, I mean, maybe a little bit of in-game tutorialization might be useful, but at the same time, it's really not a complicated concept once you know what you're doing. So, as long as you're not too lazy to read the box, you're going to be just fine. Oh, these are pretty. I like these. What is that? I probably don't want to walk through that thing. It seems like trouble. It's like making a snake path. I quite like the lo-fi graphical aesthetic of it. Everything's got this old, like, what is it, Commodore 64 or maybe like Spectrum or Amiga. One of those, maybe even Atari ST. I don't know. One of those is the right one. Most of them are probably not the right one. It's been a while. I don't remember my aesthetics perfectly. Whoa, okay, just kind of tore through that. So what happens if you run out of colors? Because I imagine that could happen. Uh-oh. Yeah, I just caused a little bit of a problem for myself. If you really beat on all of these color fields, you may end up running out of options, which could be quite bad. Because you can actually just delete this entire field if you want to just beat on it with your block. Alright, come back. What are you doing? Let's grab some pink. Can I grab that from this paddle thing? Probably not. I don't even want to try. Oh no! What are you doing? You get in my way. Alright, so far so good. And we gotta make our way inside of that big fortress there. Lovely sound effects and great music, by the way. I mean, you may not be able to hear it particularly well. For whatever reason, the sound seemed to be quite low, although I tried to turn it up high in the mix. Oh, this is gonna get complicated, isn't it? We're gonna have to do a lot of walking around before we can figure out how to get through all of these walls. Hopefully these guys don't pile up too much on me. I'll try and use my lock-on if I can. Oh, thank you, Waypoint. I'm glad you showed up for just a moment or two. Grab a little chunky yellow, perhaps? Is that what we needed here? I think it may be. Thank you. That would be orange again. Get the yellow in the center. It's getting a little chaotic over here. These things making all these little colorful patterns are getting in my way. I feel like I'm playing Smash TV at times here, minus the very explosive weaponry. Yeah, Smash TV meets Tron meets, like, an old-school retro game. It's a cool premise, though. Oh, it looks like we've got a boss, I believe, because we've got a chevron. These almost look like they would be created from ASCII characters or something. However, that's not the case. Alright, so pink is our first access point. That will let us get to green. And I think things are going to be just fine as long as I can avoid all these edges. Not sure how you would program something this complicated that it would be procedurally generated. Seems like quite a task. I don't know if I would be up to it myself. But thankfully, I don't have to be up to it. Alright, we've got some kind of like heat-seeking kidney beans here. I'm a little bit afraid of those. Thankfully, they seem to be getting stuck on some of these other trails. So we've got pink at our disposal. Hopefully that's not going to aggro on me. We just got to get a little bit of green, and we'll be good to go. Beautiful. There's a lot of guys here. I'm not sure why you would really want to fight them. Seems like more trouble than it's worth, especially... Oh, the boss isn't going to let me leave the area until I fight those. Okay. Or fight him, I should say. It. I'm gonna have my work cut out for me here to take this guy out. Looks like quite a task. Unless I can get him stuck a little bit. What I was kind of wondering is maybe this would be the kind of game that would be quite useful with like skill trees or some sort of experience point building system. Oh, wow. I got mowed down by that paddle there, unfortunately. I made it to level 5 on my first try. I think that's pretty good. Let's press Control R to reset, give it another go. Things start out nice and simple, and you can see how differentiated it is from one playthrough to the next. If you haven't noticed, when you bonk these guys, they go through a couple of phases. I haven't really bonked a whole lot of them, so I guess you probably wouldn't know that. But if you bonk them once, they seem to glow a little bit. You bonk them again, well, shame on me, because that didn't actually do anything. Normally they would go into like that purple state there, and they seem to expand quite a ways. I'm not sure how big they would get if I just left it. Kind of curious, though. I like how it looks like it's just kind of glitching out a little bit. Oh, you know, in my quick little trial run, I think I discovered that if you want to be real smart about it, you might be able to use these guys like bombs from Everyday Shooter or Every Extend Extra. Yeah, you line up other guys inside of them and then just use them to take out a field instead of just one at a time. Could be a useful strategy to know about. Or a useful strategy. So we need a little bit of blue. So let's grab some pink. Grab some blue. And then we're already going to be off from this planet, or this area. Not too difficult. Oh no! That almost went really badly, and it picked up some blue again. Wish my guy had like some little more agile moves to him, but he's fine. He's doing what he can. We got wacky sound effects here. It's like stuff hitting into walls. Got that big old shield, and then we got some more orange on the other end of here. And it's orange blocking off orange, so I'm not sure how useful that is. Alright, so we need to get some green, as is the case in real life. No, what are you doing? Give me back my box. Please. Oh, I like the music here. Just picked up in a big way. Yeah, I just need a little bit of yellow, and we're out. Oh, I like this color scheme here. It's like pastel land. Anyway, what was I saying before? I was mentioning about how this could probably use some like experience points or skill tree systems to encourage you to engage in combat on a slightly more ready basis. Because right now, really, combat is just in order to get you out of a sticky situation. You generally don't even need to use it at all. And in a way, combat is actually sort of detrimental because whenever you're using your box to hit stuff with, you don't have that thing anymore to be solving puzzles, so you kind of have to pick one or the other. Oh, wow, I got stuck on the wall there. Alright, a little bit of a dumb pet peeve, but I kind of hate it when they do those, like, sticky hitboxes. So if I'm walking straight, everything's cool, right? But if I hit right a little bit, it seems to always supersede walking straight, so I can run into this wall for whatever reason. I guess it just takes the last input, actually. Although if I'm holding right, then I hit straight, I don't walk. So that actually doesn't make sense. I guess you just stick to walls. Whatever. Just a pet peeve. I just don't like when you're trying to make some progress and then all of a sudden you just get snagged up on some stupid thing. So my question still sort of remains here. What if I were to take out this entire blue structure, leaving myself with nothing else to get the color blue from, and then all of a sudden maybe I hit into the pink block by accident, which I actually just did. Then all of a sudden I would not be in any... I can't move. I'm stuck on the wall right there. That sucks. Well, it's still got some bugs perhaps, but no big deal. Oh, I seem to be stuck moving right now. I'm not sure why. I'm not pressing any buttons. Did I activate the joystick by accident? No, I didn't do that. Alright, well my character seems to want to move right pretty badly, which is going to make playing this a little difficult. Well, let's just pick it up again at the beginning. I'll just reset the application. Alright, we're back, and it seems like the control issue is sorted. We'll just do one more run. I think you get an idea of what to expect from 2 Zong. It's a surprisingly interesting game. I really didn't know what to make of it. The aesthetic looked pretty cool to me. I like these old school kind of vibes. With the great sound effects and everything and the good music, everything seems to come together pretty nicely. And I think this is the type of game where you'll pretty much know whether or not you're into it, just based on the look and feel of the thing. I don't blame you if you're not into it. I mean, I understand this type of aesthetic is not perhaps for everyone, but I find it kind of exciting myself, especially since it's somewhat randomly generated. It seems like you can play it over and over again, and I want to see how far I can make it. It's the general appeal of games like this, although I think it could use a leaderboard, perhaps. If it had online leaderboards, I could easily see competing with, you know, all other friends of mine to see if we can get to a further level. And that's where you could deepen the experience by having some sort of an experience or skill tree-based system, something to expand on the breadth of how to customize your character, maybe. See if there are specific ways you could try to create strategies. I got stuck on that edge again. Oh, I didn't mean to shoot up there. Yeah, you're very vulnerable if you act... Oh, too close to that thing. I thought I could sneak by. The hitbox is a little bigger than I expect every time. Well, I guess we will close things out on that note. I guess I'll just keep playing as I finish out the outro. But yeah, this has been 2 Zong. Pretty cool game, free to grab. Download links are going to be right in the description, so feel free to go give it a try yourself. I am curious of your opinion, so feel free to let me know in the comments what you think about this game if you actually grabbed it and tried it out. I am always curious to know how far you got as well, in case you want to encourage a little bit of casual competition. Wow, you can't even walk on those spawners. I didn't know that. Now I know. Now you know. You can learn from my mistakes. Like, it looks like you're carrying a little sugar cube with you at the beginning. That's kind of interesting. If you're going for the psychedelic aesthetic and then you're carrying around a sugar cube, I don't know, maybe there's a correlation there if you're particularly astute, you might notice what I'm trying to talk about. Anyway, that's going to do it for Tuzong. Thank you so much for watching. As always, feel free to head on over to my website, which is www.indie-impressions.com, so you can check out all the videos, old and new, in the series. We are very, very close to the year mark now, only a few more weeks to go, so I hope you guys stick with me for that. There will be some sort of a celebration. I almost said there will be cake, but then I died a little inside, so there won't be. There will be games, though. Lots of those. So hopefully you stick around to see what that means exactly, because I'm still working out the details myself. I'm not exactly sure. I feel a little sad that I can't just walk through this huge open gap. You probably were wondering if I could, right? Well, now you know. I had a feeling you couldn't. It's a shield, right? So, aside from the website, though, you know, Indie-Impressions that I mentioned earlier, there's also the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/IndieImpressions. If you'd like to leave a like over there, you'll get every day's new video delivered right into your Facebook stream to make it nice and convenient so you don't have to go looking around for them. And there's also the occasional news updates or contests available over there as well, so it never hurts to add that up if you feel like it. No pressure, of course, just if that's your thing, if you're a Facebook guy or gal. That is a quick way to stay in touch. Lastly, if you're an indie developer and you just want to say hey, get in contact with me about the possibility of showing off your game on the show, at RockLeeSmile on Twitter is the quickest way to reach me. But I also have a contact form on my website, which is, you know, like I mentioned, indie-impressions.com. So please feel free to send me an email. I'd be happy to check out your game, provided I can get it into my schedule. At the moment, my backlog is gigantic, I won't lie. But I am finding some really, really awesome games because of awesome developers out there saying hey. So I do encourage you to do it, whether or not I can fit your game in at the moment. Regardless, there are infinite days going forward until, you know, I run out of time to play this because I've either run into financial issues or I die. So one or the other, or maybe I, you know, move on to other things. Hopefully not that. I didn't mean to end us on such a dark note there, but just saying, please do contact me. That's really all I was going after. So, the little spheroids or whatever they are will gather around my skull and crossbones, and mourn the loss of another Indie Impressions episode. No, it's not a loss, it's just the ending of one. We can always play this more on a stream later or something, so hopefully you enjoyed it. And I will see you again tomorrow for another. Have a lovely night, and thank you as always for watching. Later!